Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you being here. In this video, I'm looking at 5 business ideas out of Zimbabwe that are related to agriculture. They are not all necessarily farming businesses, but they present an opportunity which is not saturated. There's an opportunity to carve out a space for yourself and make some money through agriculture in Zim or agriculture related activities in Zim. So let's get started. First up is the pellet making machine supplier business. The idea here is to bring in and sell pellet making machines used in the production of livestock and poultry feed by farmers. The target market for this business is small scale to medium scale farmers interested in producing livestock and poultry feed using a wide variety of inputs such as grain, vegetables, scraps, wheatgrass, among others. So this is how the machine looks. You have got the hopper or top funnel here, the pelletizing chamber or press chamber here, which contains the flat die or circular steel plate with holes, and rollers that press material through the die to form pellets. This is the electric motor which provides the power to drive the rollers and die, and you also have the control panel for operating the machine. The pellet feed produced by this machine can be used to feed goats, sheep, fish, chickens, ducks, beef, and dairy cows, among others. So this is how it actually works. You have the feed making inputs here, such as post-harvest residues and byproducts. Think stalks, leaves, cobs, husks, sweet potato vines, banana leaves, and more. This is fed into the machine. On the other end, you have the processed pellets, which are easy to handle and store. The pellets are made according to the animals they will be feeding. This machine solves the problem of supplemental feed, which farmers need when raising goats, cattle, and cows, for example. It also makes basal feed, which is the primary feed that makes up the bulk of the diet. Up to 70% of production costs go into basal feed in some cases. All the farmer needs here are the correct formulations to make the pellet. The value proposition that you bring to the farmer with this equipment is to make cost-effective, locally accessible, nutrition-balanced pellet feed, saving the farmer up to 20% on feed costs and improving animal growth. Now let's look at the cost involved in landing your first machine. There are a variety of sourcing marketplaces found online. All these are different suppliers. The smallest machine weighs about 80 kgs and produces 80 kgs of pellets per hour. A 6-day work week will produce nearly 4 tons of pellets using just one machine. You can land the machine in Zimbabwe for less than $1,000 by sea freight, making sure to declare it as agricultural machinery under the correct HS code for zero duty and zero VAT. Now let's look at the potential revenue this machine can bring. There are multiple revenue streams one can chase with this machine. One monetization method is reselling the machine to the target market at a profit of between $300 and $500 per sale. Another option is offering a feed production service at a centralized location. This model follows the chigayo or grinding mill model. Farmers bring the inputs and you produce pellets for them at a fee. At 15 cents per kg, you can recover the cost of importing the machine after producing 8 tons of pellets. That's about $1,200 in revenue. According to my numbers, this can be achieved within 2 weeks depending on how busy the service gets. If you get busy and demand increases, you can easily upgrade to a higher capacity machine. Yet another monetization model using this machine is to develop formulations, especially for supplemental feed for goats, sheep, cows, and cattle. Once you nail a formula, you can sell branded pellets under your secret formula. This business presents a strong rural and peri-urban opportunity with small scale to medium scale farmers. It also offers a high return on investment and solves a real pain point faced by many farmers. Next up is ready to fruit mushroom kits. Okay, in this business, you sell fully colonized mushroom grow bags to farmers who in turn fruit them to produce oyster mushrooms for the market. Your market here is medium scale to small scale farmers as well as backyard producers of oyster mushrooms in communities. What you are looking at here are colonized oyster mushroom bags ready to produce mushrooms. They have been sitting in a dark room under the right conditions for 21 days to reach this stage where they are all covered in white like snow. They start off as brown. This business idea means you do all the behind the scenes production work, pass the finished products to farmers who then produce the mushrooms for the market. Think of it like egg farming. Some farmers don't raise chicks, they buy chickens that are ready to lay. In the same way, you raise the mushroom bags through the risky early stage, then sell them when they are ready to fruit. To fruit is when mushrooms are actually produced by the bags. Here is how oyster mushroom production works. Picture this timeline. From inoculation to harvest, oyster mushrooms require about 28 days. The work to produce the oyster mushrooms you see on supermarket shelves started 28 days prior. On this timeline, you have 4 material points A to D. Point A here is the start of the production process, while point D represents mushroom harvest for the market. There are 28 days between points B and D, 21 days between points B and C, and 7 days between C and D. This business model is to focus on points A and C, saving farmers at least 21 days of production time. Your value proposition is to absorb the 21-day waiting period and its risks, then sell fully colonized mushroom bags to farmers on day 21. The farmers can then fruit the bags within the next 7 days, which is C to D on the timeline, and quickly take fresh mushrooms to market. This model saves farmers time, reduces costs, and minimizes risks. Many are willing to pay a premium to avoid the 21-day waiting period B2C, during which contamination, especially in the early stages, can cause mushroom bags to fail. It also keeps them cash rich because of short waiting period. As for you in this business, you eliminate the marketing challenges of dealing with highly perishable produce, particularly if you lack reliable distribution networks or cold storage to extend mushroom shelf life. Despite potential problems, every batch makes you better. With practice, contamination losses fall to almost nothing, turning mastery of steps A to C into consistent profit. As you have already seen, this is a B2B or business-to-business business idea. Farmers places orders for grow bags sometimes months in advance, guaranteeing you predictable revenue throughout the year. If you have excess bags at any time, you also have the option to fruit some mushrooms for the market. So what is involved in starting this business? Using a relatively small plot of land, you can get started in this business. For example, 20 square meters is enough to produce your first 500 bags. Sold at $6 each, these bags will generate a total revenue of approximately $3,000. Your input will be approximately $2.50 per bag, depending on the substrate used, meaning the total cost of producing the 500 bags will be about $1,250, leaving you a gross profit of about $1,750 every 21 days. This is a gross profit margin of about 58%, which is very healthy. Of course, this model generates lower profits compared to selling fresh mushrooms themselves, as the end farmers do. The catch for the fresh mushrooms is to have reliable, fast market access or a solid cold chain system. Mushrooms fruit quickly, and without a ready market, spoilage losses are inevitable. This can be huge. Once operations are established, you can gradually build direct market channels to increase profitability. Overall, this business idea is low cost, high demand, fast turnover business ideal for patient, process-driven entrepreneurs. Okay, next is a small-scale poultry farmers abattoir. The idea here is not entirely new. You are just taking things to the next level in terms of efficiency and hygiene standards. Many areas with a high concentration of backyard or peri-urban chicken farmers in Zimbabwe have existing low-standard slaughtering facilities. The current methods and facilities are highly unhygienic. Most chickens are slaughtered in unregulated, unhygienic backyards. This impacts the ability of small-scale chicken farmers to access bigger, more lucrative markets. Even if the farmers have good quality chickens by weight and otherwise, they fail to earn top dollar for their produce due to highly questionable dressing methods and processes. Some are even forced to sell only live chickens because they can't access good quality dressing services. Your value proposition here is to offer a clean, registered facility that ensures food safety, compliance, and access to higher value markets. The business model here is to offer quality chicken dressing services to hundreds of small-scale farmers at a fee of between 50 cents and 80 cents per bag. Depending on your investment appetite, you can even expand this to be both a fixed location and a mobile service where you go to the farmer. As the business expands, potential growth avenues include offering cold storage services, acting as an aggregator for small-scale farmers, and marketing dressed bears under a single brand, either as whole chickens or as assorted portions, commonly known here in Zimbabwe as mixed chicken portions. You will need to register the business as an abattoir to operate legally. The application fee has dropped in recent times implemented reforms. The process can be tough, but once approved, it opens valuable doors for growth. Now, let's look at some potential numbers for this business. First, this is how our costs and other things look. Workers, you will have 4 paid $300 each, which amounts to about $1,200 per month. Other running expenses will be $600 per month, and your total monthly cost will be $1,800. The initial investment here is $15,000, covering equipment, any building or mobile unit. Let's say you have a facility attracting 30 farmers per day, each with 10 beds in tow. That's 300 beds per day or 7,500 beds per month with 25 working days. You dress each of the beds for 75 cents. Working 25 days per month, the business will collect $5,625 in revenue per month after processing 7,500 chickens. That's a monthly return on investment of 25.5% or yearly 306%, which is very good. In locations with high population density, there are thousands of chickens under production at any given time. Let's look at this table. You have price per bed here, monthly revenue, monthly gross profit, monthly return on investment, yearly return on investment, and payback period. In other words, how long it takes to get your $15,000 investment back. Admittedly, getting farmers to pay 75 cents per bed right from the start may be tough. Current unhygienic and often chaotic facilities charge up to 50 cents per bed, some much lower. Even if you enter the market at the same price point per bed, you have a decent monthly gross profit of nearly $2,000. However, this may be a bad idea if you seek to distinguish your service and may never be able to bring the price up to better profit levels. Nonetheless, this table shows that you have room to run launch promotions. If you can handle 7,500 beds a month or more, you can run limited time promos at 40 cents each per bed to prove your service and still make it work. Chicken is considered the cheapest source of protein in Zimbabwe at the moment, and that's widely produced. produce. There is room to get the service popular and attract more farmers. You will need to invest in marketing, especially social media marketing, and prove the quality of your service. Word of mouth will do the rest. There will be low days and very high days, especially weekends, and certain notable public holidays and festivities. Such days are cash-in days for the business. This is a high-impact idea for solving backyard, peri-urban poultry and rural market inefficiencies. Strong margins and government policy support make this ideal for well-organized operators. Next is the drone spraying business. The idea here is to invest in agriculture drones capable of aerial spraying, mapping, and surveying, then offer this service to farmers at a fee. This targets medium to large-scale farmers who need efficient and cost-effective crop management solutions. This business idea addresses the problem of tractors and ground sprayers damaging crops and compacting soils during farm operations. In addition, wet or inaccessible fields can't always be reached by ground machinery. As encountered by many farmers, manual spraying is slow, labor-intensive, and uneven. Farmers always face the risk of losses when they cannot apply chemicals at the right time due to a variety of reasons, including equipment shortages. Using purpose-made drone technology, this business idea offers fast turnaround field spraying services at a fee to medium to large-scale farmers in Zimbabwe. Equipment covers up to 21 hectares per hour, which is roughly 3 to 5 minutes per hectare. This is huge and very efficient. Huge tracts of land are sprayed within a very short period of time. The business offers a cost-saving alternative to traditional spraying, saving on fuel costs, labor, and crop damage as mentioned. Unlike the 80s and 90s when richer commercial farmers had private airstrips to run crop plants, this business makes convenient aerial spraying accessible to just about any interested farmer. Beyond just spraying, other extra monetizable service lines for the business include livestock monitoring, drone mapping, and imaging of farmland. This is a business-to-business idea that makes money by charging for the service per hectare. For example, aerial field spraying using a drone in Zimbabwe currently ranges between $15 to $25 per hectare. The average farm size in Zimbabwe is 150 hectares. Taking the lower end of the range at $15 per hectare, the cost for drone equipment hire only to cover the 150 hectares is $2,250. On the other hand, traditional tractor spraying, just tractor hire, farmer supplying fuel, the cost is $25 per hectare. That's $3,750 for the full 150 hectares, a difference of $1,500 or 40% compared to drone technology services. This is not all. Crops often require 4 sprays per cycle. This drone business will generate as much as 2,250 times 4 cycles, which is $9,000 per farm per season, depending on the crop. At scale, servicing 10 farms could easily generate 6-figure revenues annually. The startup costs for this business are admittedly on the higher end. First, the business will need to invest in a high-end drone, which costs as much as $25,000. The operator or pilot of the drone will need to be fully licensed by the Civil Aviation Authority of Zimbabwe, according to the 2018 drone regulations. Drones use airspace and are thus regulated. If you as the business owner choose to get the license yourself, budget about $3,000 for certification. Alternatively, hire a qualified professional on a monthly retainer or per job basis. These fees feel steep, yet that's exactly why it pays. The barriers keep competition low once you are through all the hoops. A suitable vehicle like a bakkie or small truck will also be required to move the drone equipment from site to site. Finally, there will also be other expenses and costs to factor into the business, such as full insurance cover. This is a high return niche, but it only works with a well-built plan. The upside is contract-based spraying, which gives predictable revenue, often booked months in advance. Demand is gradually growing as more farmers realize the powerful effect of drone technology in farming. There's also an opportunity to enter this space using suitable entry-level drones at the price of a Honda Fit. At $5,000 to $9,000, you can buy a drone and launch farm mapping, surveying, imaging, and filming services, except that entry-level drones are not capable of aerial spraying, the most lucrative part of the business. Okay, next up is vegetable farming, which is basically organic vegetable farming. Notice that organic is in quotes here, meaning this is not necessarily certified organic farming, but farming using zero synthetic fertilizers and chemical sprays. The business idea here is launching a backyard or peri-urban farm near Harare, producing chemical-free fruit and vegetables such as bananas, strawberries, tomatoes, potatoes, greens, onions, cucumbers, and carrots using compost, natural soil fertility, and biological pest control. The target market for this niche business is upmarket, health-conscious, high-income individuals residing in Harare. Although this idea could work in other cities, it seems more promising in Harare, where there is potentially a big enough market to sustainably support this niche enterprise. This business idea rides on the opportunity presented by a growing global trend for chemical-free produce for health reasons and personal preference. Already in Harare, there are weekend markets with small pockets of sellers offering chemical-free or organic quote-unquote fruit and veg, targeting upmarket consumers in northern sections of the city. The Zero Synthetic Vegetable Farm positions itself as the all-out trustworthy source of fruit and vegetables grown using non-chemicalized method. The farm will offer open farm visits with sales at the farm gate and could expand to open upmarket outlets guided by growth of demand. There is seemingly a groundswell of consumers interested in paying a premium for safe, trustworthy, traceable, chemical-free produce, but who lack consistent suppliers. This is where you come in as the farm. A look at some data shows that Harare proper, which is the urban metro, has a population of 1.6 million people. The affluent segments such as Borodale, Chisipiti, Helensville, Mount Pleasant, Avondale, and CBD professionals equal roughly 5 to 10% of households. That's about 15 to 30,000 households out of 653,000 households in Harare. If we take an educated guess that 10% of these are health conscious and strong potential buyers of organic or natural produce, that gives us 1,500 to 3,000 households as addressable market. Producing 5 tons per month of a variety of fruit and veg produce, the business needs 100 to 120 households to sell out, with revenues hovering around 9,500 out of a half-hectare plot. These revenue calculations here are derived from Mbare prices multiplied by 2 to 3 times to reflect premium prices associated with organic or zero synthetic produce. On paper, the model is well within demand capacity, with room to scale 10 to 20 times if demand grows and production systems prove reliable. To start this business, you obviously need a good-sized piece of land, preferably easily accessible to the Harare North target market for convenient open farm visits as part of transparent production strategy. With smaller land but good location, you can start the business small, growing the most consumed daily produce. The business will also need minimum viable infrastructure such as irrigation, drip lines, simple tunnels, greenhouses, and cold storage. Choice of seeds will also be very important, such as open pollinated, organic seeds, composts, and effective natural pest remedies. The business will also depend on strong social media marketing and word of mouth, built on transparency for the market to see firsthand how the produce is grown, so as to trust the process and output. There is scope here to pursue a growth direction that includes livestock such as eggs, meat, and even grass-fed beef. This business targets a growing premium niche, urban Zimbabweans willing to pay for safe, non-chemical produce. By focusing on trust, transparency, and branding, the farm avoids the complexity of organic certification while still commanding double market prices for organic produce. Okay, that's it. Those are my 5 business ideas out of Zim with great potential, not saturated, waiting for takers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Take care.